Hey everybody, Bigfoot again. Um, I promised a while back that I'd come back and do a review on the EBprimatives fire piston, and I had done kind of a joint um, review at one time with that and the solo stove, using them together as a cooking kit for lightweight backpacking. But I wanted to come back and spend a little more time on the just the fire piston. A lot of people don't know how that works. They don't understand, how you can create fire from air. But it's real easy. It's a simple device. All it does is it compresses air into a small space, and the friction buildup causes a spark to form. I don't know all the physics involved with it, but once you see how it works, you'll understand more of it. Um, I got a new one in. I have opened it, so if anybody wants to complain about it already being open, hey, I had to make sure everything was here and prep it for the video. But basically, I'm going to unbox it. This is everything that comes in the box. It comes straight from Lexington, New York. EBprimatives is their eBay store name, and the guy's name is Emil. I think I'm pronouncing that right, Emil or Emil Banks. So super nice guy. I talked to him, emailed him back and forth a couple of times before I did the video to let him know I was planning on doing it, and super guy. So that tells me something about his product right there. Their customer service is excellent. If you have trouble, give them a shout. They'll help you out. But anyways, opening the box, you'll find your instructions, and he even goes to the trouble of highlighting your info that you need as far as what kind of stuff you have to do. This is actually the instructions that is on the Piston Pal tinderbox, which is another piece that he adds into this. This is on the fire piston, and he highlights the instructions, their color directions, shows how to operate and everything. I won't go through the trouble of reading all of it because I'm going to cover most of it while we're demonstrating. There's also a disclaimer form in here about the purchaser takes all responsibility. You burn your house down, it's your own fault. Anyways, let's get on to the good stuff. Let's see, go down to the bottom of this. There's a bag in here that contains your fire piston with some more instructions that show to avoid damage, and I'll let you read all that when you get yours in the mail, but basically it tells you to lubricate the plunger before you use it so that you don't break it off inside of it. You have a bag of char cloth, and I've tried different char cloths with this. His char cloth is by far the best I've tried. I've tried different kinds. I've even made my own and tried it. Mine worked. Some other ones worked, but just not as well as the stuff he provides. And he provides a huge bag of it, so you won't run out anytime soon. He also gives you a bag of tinder. You can use this on the ground in a tinder bundle in your hands, or you can use it in the included tinder box that he provides, and I'll demonstrate how that works shortly. There's also a bag in here with a little container of lubricant. Looks like butter. I've tried some alternative stuff in here. Crisco, chapstick, lotion, anything you can find on the trail to lubricate it. You get into a bind, you could probably even use spit if you had to. Just something to lubricate the shaft inside the fire piston. And I'll show you how that works in a moment. This is your fire piston. This is the Canoeist model, and basically it's just got a cap up here where you can keep some stuff inside of it. I don't have anything in it yet, but it has a little stopper. We'll probably keep char cloth in there. It has a little loop right here for tying a lanyard to it. I have another one of these. This is a new one, but I have my older one. It's a little shorter than this, and I have it where I can tie it around my neck on a piece of paracord. and keep char cloth and lubricant in it, where all you have to do is just carry this with you. It has a rubber stopper, and around underneath that rubber stopper is a good spot to hide more char cloth or lubricant, whichever one you want to put in there. But that just slips over the little brass piece right here. This is the shaft that we keep talking about that you have to lubricate. And it has a string on it. Don't cut that string off, it's very important. That's what takes the pressure off when you push this in here. If you don't have that string in place, like if I pull it back and you push down, that will have resistance on it. That string creates a little path for air to get past it, so that when you're storing it, it lets the pressure off when you put it in there. On the end here, you'll see a little rubber gasket and a screw. Now, don't worry about the gasket, because the one thing about it, I'll pull these out, I'll show you that in a minute. The little rubber gaskets, he gives you a whole bag of little rubber gaskets. There's plenty of them in there, and I'm sure if you ran out of them eventually, you can email him, he'll probably send you more of them for a small fee, shipping and handling or something. But as nice as the guy is, I don't think you'd have a problem. Basically, the short end of it is you take a little piece of char cloth, stick it in that screw head, force it into this tube real fast, and if you do everything right, it will start a spark on the end of this that you can use to light tinder. The other two little items that I pulled out of the bag are a little sharp pointed stick here that is used for cleaning the tip if you get gunk or whatever in it, and then the other end has little crosshairs cut in it, and basically this is just your cleaning tool for cleaning gunk out of this tube, and then also for cleaning the end of this out if you get grime, gunk, whatever leftovers in it. The other little item that's in here is probably the most important thing you're going to want to hang on to. It has an extra gasket hung in it, and it has a hole here where if you want to, you can tie it to your lanyard, but don't tie it against this, tie it where you can use it, because the idea is this little spiked end is what you use to rake your coal out of this screw into your fire, so you're not trying to sit here with your fingertips and knock it out. I'll give you a little short demonstration, then we may have to move outside for the actual tinder box, because I don't want to light a big flame in the house and smoke up the house. All you have to do is pull off a little piece of the char cloth, very small piece, little microscopic thing here. You don't want much. If you get too much, it actually won't light. You can see here on the end of my finger, or the end of my thumb, see how small that piece is? That's about all you need to start it. And what you do is wedge it in this screw head. I would put my tinder on there first. That's just my advice, because if you put it on there after you touch this lubricant, you may get it wet and then it won't ignite. But once you lube that up, hold that string back with your thumb, and that's the whole idea. You just push it in there real fast. You see it? See a little spark on the end? It may be hard to see. I'll do it again. But all you do is just put you a little piece on the end. And that's all it is. It just creates a small spark. And then you take your little piece here and rake that little coal out. And you rake it out in one big piece onto whatever your tinder bundle is going to be. And you can use anything for a tinder bundle, stuff you have around the house. One of my favorite things to take with me is dryer lint. Dryer lint seems to work really well for starting fires. But if you're out in the middle of the woods, you may not have dryer lint available. You may have to dig into a pine tree and find some fat wood to start a fire, or just whatever. You know, I would say your best bet, study books on bushcraft and things of that nature to understand how this device would help you. You know, you may be wondering, what can you do with a small spark? Well, you can start anything with this. I've started alcohol stoves, I've started wood stoves, bonfires and campfires, all sorts of stuff, just by knowing how to get a flame from a small spark. But you know, you can tell 2 out of 2 tries I created a spark. So the rest of it's left up to you on how to utilize that. Now I'll show you more about this tinderbox that he sends. It works very well. It's when he ships it to you, it's packed with tinder. You don't really need that much to get started, and I'm going to put some of this in this bag just to save it. You don't need all that in there at one time. All you really need is just enough to get some flames going. Now the idea of this is not to burn all of this tinder at one time. What you want to do is drop your spark in here and then get it to flame up, and just as soon as it starts to flame up, knock some of the flaming pieces out, but save some of the blackened stuff in here, because next time you put a spark to it, it'll already be charred, it will start easier. And then you can start 5 or 6 different fires off of it. Let me get my camera stuff reset. We'll move outdoors and I'll show you how to start a fire using the tinderbox. Alright, I'm going to show you the quick version of the how to use the tinderbox. It's a little cold out here. It's December 23rd and about 30 something degrees outside. It may not look that cold, but it's pretty cool. So like I said before, you don't need a whole lot of tinder in here to get this started. I would put a piece of char cloth right there in the top of that cut, and the reason why is when you drop a spark in there, it will actually give you a bigger piece of char cloth to get started, making it a whole lot easier to start. Something I forgot to mention earlier is this material that's in here, the tinder, is cedar shavings, like a cedar mulch type stuff that they sell at Lowe's in a big huge bag. It's real cheap to replace, so if you ever want more of it or wondered what it was, that's what it is. And I've got too much char cloth on here to get a spark. That's something I mentioned earlier too, and it takes a little playing around to learn just how much to use, but once you get the right amount, you want just a little bit on the top of it. There we go. And then you take and drop a little bitty spark right into this hole. And I wasn't fast enough getting it off of here. Alright. Now what you want to do is keep this going, keep some airflow on it. And that's pretty easy, you just blow on it until it starts. Then you can cap it off if you want to, and you cover up this little piece right here with a wet leaf or a piece of tin foil or just whatever you've got that won't burn to let it go out. That right there will give you something to start later on, where all it takes is just a small spark. Now that you've already got charred material, you can get it started right back up very quickly, very easily. So, well, that's the ins and outs of the EBprimatives fire piston. I hope this has been useful to you. And like I said, I've tried different brands of pistons. This seems to be the best fire piston that I own. I own 3 of them from this company now because they work so well, and some of the rest of them I've given away to friends because I couldn't get them to work. So, you know, get on eBay. EBprimatives is his ID name, and give him a shout if you got questions. And hopefully this review's been helpful. Thanks.